Big deal. That's always went with the territory. I'll see you in Disneyland.
My defense, because I am such a part of it. I mean, I obviously I'm going to bear the consequences, so why not bear the responsibility?
Okay, sir, is she still alive?
You're alive.
When was the last time you saw her?
Mama, I killed Dean.
Brian?
Ma'am?
What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Welcome to 50 States of Madness.
Hi, welcome back for another week.
Welcome back. You could tell we're in our Dodger. Well, this is, I mean, I don't know if this is technically, well, it's not really. It's Dave's shirt. It's Life After Death, but it's Dodger colors.
It's awesome.
And
I like
but
it.
I have my Dodger hat on. Today I was wearing my Steeler sweatshirt though, because the Steelers won last night.
You have to represent. LA's having a really good week this week.
We're on game 4.
That's when we're recording. That's today.
I don't think we're going to take it home today, but you never know.
No, that's why I'm not at a bar right now. I wanted to go to a bar to celebrate with everybody, but I really don't think the Yankees are going to do the sweep. But let's talk about West Coast, East Coast on the drop the mic. First of all, Fat Joe, don't drop the mic after that performance.
Exactly.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Ice Cube
took it.
Killed it.
All the way.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a question. Like, even if you're from the East Coast, you know Ice Cube took that.
And if you say that you don't agree, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're a liar.
This is the one time I'm going to call you a liar and you're wrong. Like,
you're a liar.
Sorry. If you could hear anything, if you can hear all my mistakes in the way I speak words, you could hear that Fat Joe was out of breath, couldn't even sing his own song. And every time he fucked up, he just said, "Go Yankees."
Yeah,
like,
so sad.
It was. And I felt bad for him because it's not like I'm not a Fat Joe fan. Like,
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, Ice Cube's Ice Cube. You can't.
Thank you. You just can't beat him in a rap battle. Like, it was just by far. But anyways, we'll move. It's just so sad that we're beating New York in
everything.
Kinds of ways. But yeah,
the baseball battle, the rap battle, you know.
I honestly though, I didn't think it was going to be a sweep. Like, I don't think it is. I think they need to come back home to win it. However, it gets a little nerve wracking when that happens. When you wait till game 7, then it's like, or even game 6.
Now you got to
wait till game 6.
Yeah, you got to really come through now. So
like, I really felt like when New York took it back to their place, like they were going to take game 3. Like, I just thought,
of course. It's
going to be New York today.
Yeah.
They're not going to let it go. And today I'm thinking we're playing with the bullpen.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, but enough about that if you're not sports fans.
Yeah, sorry. Our apologies, but
you didn't come.
We like sports here. Yeah. We like sports here, so maybe we'll do sports. We'll go over the sports.
I was gonna say you didn't come here for the sports, but but you left here with some knowledge.
That's right.
Mic drop. No, don't drop this mic. Just kidding.
Go Steelers. Okay, that's the knowledge you came with. We disagree. Football. Baseball, we're good. Yeah, football, no.
Rams over here.
I'm okay with the Rams, though. Yeah. I'm okay with the Rams. The Raiders, the Cowboys, and the Chargers. I can't do it.
No.
I can't do it. So, but before we get started today, I want to talk about our friend Dan Cleary from
I was going to say the
from
same
radio
because you were talking about doing a sports thing. So yes, please.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Dan, because him and his friend have started a new podcast, and it is called Others from Another Mother.
I love that title.
Yeah.
By the way.
And so their first episode drops on Halloween night, which is when this episode will probably come out. But you guys need to go subscribe to them on YouTube, Others from Another Mother, and make sure and subscribe to the podcast on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. They are going to talk about everything UFO, UAP. We got a little sneak peek of their first episode, and it's brilliant. I'm not real hip when it comes to UFOs, stuff like that. and I was able to follow along, and I had, because they're going to talk about every single subject above and beyond the UFO thing. They're talking about life after death. They're talking about where do our bodies go? Like, do we have souls? Do we have, like, it's just an abundance of stuff that they're going to talk about, and it's going to be so good.
That's his passion.
Yes.
He loves it, and he has a lot of knowledge on it.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So please go subscribe to Others from Another Mother.
And I think with that, we're getting a call in. Ring, ring.
Oh.
555-5555.
Go ahead. You answer it. Oh, God.
No, I don't want to play a game. Can we not get crank callers, please?
No. You guys didn't know this was a live show. You could call in.
You can call in.
That's our number. We'll put it up on the screen if you'd like to call.
I just feel like we're getting calls from the people from the afterworld.
Yeah.
So we need to be really
Dan's
careful
gonna
with
use
that.
Dan's gonna use this phone.
It's really-
Dan's gonna use this phone on his podcast to take live calls from, and that's what happens.
This is he was laughing at us. That's not
okay.
funny. That's
Okay.
not funny.
Okay. Hold on. So speaking of weird things, right? Okay.
Another one?
Yeah. So get this. So I was at my friend Kelly's house last night,
And this is our Halloween episode anyways, so.
and we were having dinner for her mom's birthday. And so we were sitting at the dinner table, we were eating, and I had my phone in front of me, and I wasn't doing anything on my phone. My phone turned on. It opened up, like it unlocked. And then, like on the iPhone where you touch it and you hold the screen, and then all of your apps like start to shake so you can like delete them or move them around, right? So my phone did that. Mind you, I'm sitting there like this. Phone is on the table in front of me. It started doing that. Then it stopped. Then it scrolled over 2 screens and scrolled back to the home screen and turned off. I can't even make this shit up. So then it gets better. So then I go home and I walk in the house, and my son and daughter-in-law my son's on the couch. My daughter-in-law's in the kitchen cooking. And when my mom and I walk through the door, she goes, and she turns around really quick. And I'm like, yeah, like what's going on? She's like, oh, it's just you. And I'm like, yeah, why? Who did you think it was? And she's like, I don't know, because we were sitting here about 10 minutes ago and the front door just opened by itself. And it was shut completely.
So they came home before you.
They didn't go with us. They were there the whole time.
No, but you came from Kelly's with I'm saying like.
Well, no, because that happened before we got home.
The spirit came home before you.
Oh, yeah. It beat me home, apparently.
Beat you home. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been like,
you've been having really weird occurrence. Your
yes,
daughter.
and that never happens. And so my son was not real happy with me because my son doesn't.
Because she's bringing it.
My son always, it's always going to be my fault, like we talked about on last week's episode. So, of course, he really was just rolling his eyes on the couch like, great. Great.
And it's not like rolling the eyes like, I don't believe you. It's like, Mom,
Stop this right now.
Thank you. We need sage in the house or something.
So I have some holy water. I might need to sprinkle it around the house.
Yeah.
So
I'd get that started.
Yeah. So
but
anyway,
today we're going to be talking about the Zodiac because we started watching the series of the Zodiac, right? So we started, it was a series on Netflix that came out. It's 3 episodes. It's really good. Go check it out. But I know a few weeks ago, Gina kind of touched on a story about a TikToker who said that his grandfather was the Zodiac Killer and he has all this proof and evidence. And he was talking about it and laying out the proof. Because I think if you lay out any kind of, timeline proof or whatever that may be, you can get it to look like however you want it to look like. Like you can get it to look like it was my grandpa, whatever, and I'm not saying, no, by all means, I'm not saying he's lying, but I'm saying if you have some evidence and you're thinking like, okay, this has got to be, my grandfather's got to be it. This is why he's laying all the reasons why, not all the reasons why not. It couldn't be. but all the reasons why, how it should be. And so I think they did this with this other guy, this Lee Allen, where they laid out all this proof as to why they think he is it and showed all the why. Not all the why nots, but all the why. But it's a very compelling evidence as to why Lee Allen is it. So Gina and I both watched it. So we're going to kind of talk about our opinions on it and, how this guy said Richard Hoffman, his grandfather was it. But Gina when I was talking to Gina about it, like, hey, watch the Zodiac thing. I want to talk about the Zodiac Killer on Netflix. Gina brought me some news.
Yeah. So this guy that I had just stumbled upon on TikTok, and it was right like days after he had announced to the world, like, my grandfather's the Zodiac Killer. All these people were just rushing. Like, I reached out to him, like, please come on the podcast.
I was going to say you were trying to get him on. A lot of people were. Yeah,
everybody was. And so he responded to me.
Oh, did he really? I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I didn't know this. But second of all, a lot of people reached out. What was I going to say? Oh, good Lord. Are you kidding me? Like, stop. I was going to say it before I forgot it, and it literally went in my brain and out my brain. Because you were talking about, like, because I wanted to say about that, because we were talking about it, like, you reached out, he answered you. That probably what threw me off. Like, fuck, I didn't even know he answered you. Yeah. Because I knew you had reached out to him.
Yeah, he answered me, and
I think maybe you did tell me.
Yeah, he answered me, and he said that he would come on the podcast, but he was being inundated with messages at the moment. There were tons of, like, networks reaching out to him.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Like, I thought when this Zodiac one came out on Netflix, I thought it was going to be with, like, because I knew that a lot of networks were reaching out to him too. That's why I was really interested in seeing it too. But it turns out it was a different guy.
Yeah, and I think this one that's on Netflix right now has been, like, years in the making.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm
2 or 3 years in the making. And this Richard Hoffman one that I ran across on TikTok was just, like, in the last couple months. So he was just going on, and every day he would post, like, a new story to present more evidence. And he did. It was very compelling, and he had a lot of evidence about his grandfather worked for the Vallejo Police Department. Like, it was pretty, I was, like, very, very, very much believing this guy.
Yeah, well, I think that he was putting out TikToks as he was discovering it himself.
Correct. Yes.
So it was, like, really surprising to him. So as he was discovering it, these TikToks were coming out because it was blowing his mind too. So
yeah, no, for sure. And so when Shannon had reached out to me to tell me to watch this series on Netflix, I think it was that day or the day prior that I had run across a video from this guy's brother. And I knew that, so, like, a week or two ago, this guy had posted that he had a heart attack. And
that's because he's young.
He's 36 years old, I believe. His name is Jay Foy, Foy. And so he had posted that he had a heart attack, that he had a hole in his heart, and all of this stuff. He was in the hospital. He was doing TikToks from the hospital. I'm not doing well. I have to go through all these really extensive surgeries. And then
he doesn't say what he got it from. I don't know.
I feel like it's something that he was born with, and just as he's gotten older, it's become more evident and start to cause problems.
Oh, is that okay? I was thinking, like,
a hole in your heart. Yeah, right.
COVID. No. Are we going back to our conspiracy theories?
Well, I mean, to me, this is kind of a conspiracy because now I'm like, okay, so 2 or 3 days ago, his brother posts a video saying he's on life support. So now this guy is, like, not doing well. And so now, my conspiracy mind is, like, wheels are spinning, like, okay, so, who did this to him?
Well, I'm going to tell you my husband's theory, which we were going to have him on here,
Yeah.
but you know, the Dodgers are playing, so are going to start playing. So he's all into the Dodgers right now. So I'm going to share his theory with, and I was kind of like, that.
No,
could be a
when
theory.
you said it, I was like, okay.
I know he's using his noggin, but he was saying how, the Richard Hoffman's part of the Vallejo police. He's getting all this information. He has all this special access to all this documentation that's coming through. He's investigating on the case. He's actually done interviews regarding the Zodiac Killer. So if you wanted to kill somebody, because there's a lot of murders that line up to Richard Hoffman, and there's the murders that line up to, you know, Lee Allen. So my husband was saying, what a great cover up. You can commit murders and have it look like a copycat, have it look like it's the Zodiac Killer. And so you can get away with it. So are there two killers out there that kind of did these things? So that's something to look at, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a possibility because police are definitely, you know, they have the in on all this information, and you know, you have all this information, and you could definitely do something like that. And I feel like at this point, they're never going to find out who did. I think because now so much time has passed, and what we've talked about millions of times on this podcast before, people start to pass away, and then away with that goes all the evidence. And so you lose so much. And even as people start to age and they get older, they start to forget things, you know, just like we saw Shannon forget.
You don't even, yeah, thank you. Mid-sentence. Who knew?
But
I'm like,
unfortunately, with cases like this, you know, as people pass away, then that's just unfortunately what happens. And these cases go unsolved.
but wow, the evidence towards Lee Allen, I think it's a lot stronger than Richard Hoffman.
For
That
sure.
But that's what they presented. Like I said, they present all the evidence for, not the evidence against. But
And if you haven't watched
wow.
it, go watch it, because, you know, I don't want to say something
Yeah.
because we're going to, you know, go into a little detail and stuff. I don't want to blow it for you or whatever, but it's basically a story of this family who Lee Allen was their teacher. And I found it really, really odd that just a teacher had such a close relationship. But I guess back then maybe so, things were obviously different. But this gentleman had such a close relationship with this family and with the kids. He would take them on outings on the weekends after school. I've never really heard or seen of anything like that before, but he developed a really close relationship to this family.
I think it was like he got in with the moms.
Yes.
He might have been grooming the family.
Yes.
Because come to find out later on, he's actually does time for other families,
Yes.
saying that he groomed their children and
Yes.
molested them. These kids claim that he never did anything
Right.
to them.
And the sister, like up until the end, was all for him.
One of the girls, she's like,
You're not going to tell me that he did any of this. I was never a witness to anything. But as time goes on, they start to recall and remember and have all these memories of being a child and being at all of these dumping grounds, dumping sites, murder sites where all of these people were being killed, and they were with him, and just dates and times just completely line up like perfectly.
And that's where I come in with kind of, I'm going to bring in my skepticism, things that I remember doing back in, you know, like I remember one time I went on, you know, a cross country with my babysitter's family, and, you know, we went, and if he was dumping bodies, it'd be so easy for me to say, oh yeah, it was that same summer and that same time. It'd be interesting to find like actual documentation, like receipts of gas receipts or motel receipts, something that'll actually place them there as more than just a memory. But I can, I mean, I see it. I see where the family's going with it, but I want to know what documentation do we have, like, to back up, just
to confirm it.
Yeah,
no, of course.
You know, and I'm thinking that's probably why because based on their story, why isn't this guy locked up why didn't he get locked up for it? You know?
Yeah.
But
he's
you
obviously
have to have
passed.
Yeah.
He's passed away.
But you have to have physical evidence.
Yeah.
You know?
And he died very young.
Yeah.
He died at 53 or something like that. So he was very young when he died. But
I forgot, how did he die?
He
some kind of disease.
Did he have I think he had an aneurysm, maybe.
Was it? I think he was sick for a while. They actually talk about him, but I don't even remember that part.
Yeah.
But he ended up dying.
Because then the brother ends up dying at the end too.
Yeah, he died from cancer.
Yeah. So I think
the older
I
brother.
want to say Lee Allen died from an aneurysm, maybe.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he's gone.
Yeah.
But it's really compelling evidence that they present. But again, I go back to this show a lot, Making a Murderer.
I kind of
I go back to it a lot when I'm watching stuff like this, because like you said in the beginning, if you present certain facts that, you know, show this definitely could be him, and you're not looking at everything that could make it not be him, you definitely look like you have a case. So, and we went through that with like the Natalia Grace thing and all of that stuff. When you just hear it from one point of view, you're like, oh my God, like it's a given. Yeah. Like, why are we even talking about this?
And then you hear the other point of view and you're like,
yeah, hold on, back up. Because now this is totally different, which is exactly what we did with the Natalia Grace. Yeah. Speaking of Natalia Grace, did she fall off the planet?
I know nobody ever talks about her anymore.
What happened to her?
Is she still on Instagram?
What happened to that little
TikTok?
girl?
I was following her. I haven't seen any posts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If anybody knows where she's at, please
is she okay?
let us know. Are you okay, Natalia? Because, girl, I don't know. You like came and went quick. Like she's gone.
Well, you know what? We're not really hearing too much about our other girl too,
Gypsy Rose.
Gypsy Rose. I mean, we know that she got pregnant by her baby daddy, but boyfriend or whatever.
I have a question.
Which one she's got going on?
And I mean this in all sincerity. Like, I'm being 1,000% honest. Do you guys out there really believe that she's pregnant?
Oh.
Do you think she's pregnant?
I believed what they said.
I have yet to see a picture of that girl where she looks like she's pregnant, because I could eat a burger and fries and look just like her.
Yeah, well, I look just like her right now. So, I mean,
because she already, when she came out, she already had like a little belly. Mm-hmm. Like, she wasn't like, you know, she didn't have like a washboard stomach by any means. She had a little belly.
And now she's eating good because she's out.
Honestly, that's what she looks like to me. She just looks the same. Well, or like she's like sticking her stomach out or something.
I haven't really followed her too much, so.
Yeah, I don't, it's I don't know. Totally off track, but it just came to my mind.
It's a Halloween episode. We can just do the catch up on everybody.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever. But please go watch that, because it's really, it shows a lot of good evidence. And obviously now they can't do anything. Homeboy's gone. He's been gone for a very long time.
And if there's people out there who have followed the case very closely, or those ones not even following because it's so old, but like have dived and did a deeper dive into all the suspects. I mean, is it Lee Allen? Is it Richard Hoffman? Or is there somebody else out there?
Somebody else, yeah.
You know, they haven't really done anything. I know that they've had several suspects, and I know that they've kind of talked about them, but is there any other one who's like compelling like those two, you know, like, hey, you know, these dates and these times line up, you know, please leave comments down below.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
about it.
What people think about.
I have a question though. I know there was one cipher that they said wasn't solved, but I thought they had solved all of it. I thought there was a reason, but on this documentary,
on this episode, no, there's one that has not been, that to date has not been solved.
And that's just crazy to me, with computers nowadays and being able to, like, AI hasn't solved it. Like, that's just insane.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, maybe we need to sit down and take this
try to figure it out.
From my point of view, an idiot mind, maybe I can figure it out really easily because I'm not going to overthink it.
Next week's episode, we'll be finding out who the Zodiac Killer.
Thank you. It'll be his name in there. Maybe we should look like Alan. LL. Well, they did the L's on the kill on the original one, so I don't know. But that's just crazy.
No, I totally forgot about that there is still one that's not solved.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, make sure to try to solve that.
Try to solve that puzzle.
Thank you. So yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about. Have you been following the Delphi murder trial?
Brush me up. My mind.
The down the hill, the two girls in Delphi, Indiana.
That were the ones that were followed
on the bridge.
by the guy. Yes, in the bridge. Yes. What about it?
It's going to court right now. It's in court.
So he's been arrested. He's in.
It's day 11 of the trial.
Oh.
And so I texted our friend Amber because she's originally from Indiana. I believe I know Karen lives there now too, but I don't know if she's originally from there. But I was talking to Amber about it this morning because she is keeping up on the case. But so this guy that's charged with the murders, everybody's basically like, yeah, this is him, right?
Yeah.
They presented the DNA evidence yesterday or the day before. There's no DNA evidence whatsoever. Like, this man has no DNA evidence at all.
On the crime scene, or he has no DNA?
There's no DNA. None of his DNA was at the crime scene. And this was like, I mean, I can't even, which is one of the reasons why I don't even want to talk about, like, do an actual episode on this particular case, because it's so gruesome what happened to these poor two girls. But they showed crime scene photos, and it's awful. I cannot imagine that anybody would be able to do anything of this nature without walking away with some DNA. There was
left behind
so much. I don't even know if we can say the B word on here anymore.
Oh, yeah. BLOOD.
Yeah. There was
red stuff.
There was so much of it at the crime
We say everything
scene.
else, but we're worried about saying blood.
Well, because I think that was like the latest thing that we can't say anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyway, but
I got my blood drawn today.
Yeah.
What? Why can't we say it?
So I'm just curious, people, if anybody has been following that, because that's been a case for a very, very long time. If anybody's unfamiliar, it's the two little girls that the one little girl was on Snapchat. Oh, we have a phone call coming in. Go ahead.
Oh, we're in the middle of it. Yeah, dinner will be done soon. Yeah, can you please? Thank you, Ghost. Thank you. Okay.
It's just about.
He said, "I'm done with this."
Abby and Libby were the two girls' names, and they were both killed by somebody allegedly. I won't say by him because nothing's, he hasn't been formally,
indicted or no, he's been indicted. He hasn't been formally found guilty.
No, he's not been found guilty. But the one little girl had her cell phone on her and was on Snapchat and got an actual picture of him and video of him saying "down the hill." And there's an actual podcast called "Down the Hill," I believe, and that they've been talking to the girl who did that. And again, I've been watching Nancy Grace because she talks about the trial every single day. But anyway,
she does have good information. We just don't like her delivery.
Yeah, she's just so mean. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just curious about people's thoughts about that case in particular, and if you guys are following it, what's your thoughts about this whole DNA thing? Because I'm blown away.
Yeah, I would have thought that there would be DNA at the scene.
How
I thought eventually
his DNA was there, and they were even talking about, and this is something that they brought up that it never ever to this day on any case has crossed my mind. So they were talking about how none of this guy's DNA was at the scene, right? What if he at some point in his life had a blood transfusion? And what does that do to your blood?
I have no idea.
Does that change your DNA? do you now have that person's DNA that you?
I don't think blood and DNA are this. Oh, that's a good question. I just think I don't even think it changes your blood type. Like, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, it won't change your blood type.
But I would think like eventually your body will produce enough. Like, will it go? It doesn't go out of you. That's
because it can't change your blood type because you can only receive your same blood type, except if you're like,
I wonder if
whatever.
the blood turns into your DNA. Like it morphs.
I don't know.
I don't know. We got to look into that. So if you're a doctor out there too, please.
Just things that randomly go through my mind, you know.
We
when I'm trying to solve crimes at 2:00 in the morning
they
from
just
my
pop in
bed.
my brain. Like, wait a second.
Yeah.
No, but that's interesting that they didn't find any DNA from anyone. I just thought they couldn't find him because the matching DNA, like he didn't have a DNA in the system, but there was no DNA found there at all. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
give us your thoughts.
I'm still watching. I'm still trying to keep up with the trial. It's hard because there's a lot that goes on. So I try to catch up with it every morning. So, next week, we probably will not have an episode out because Shannon and I leave next Friday.
But maybe
Tennessee.
Maybe the week before that. Because we can record before we leave.
Oh, yeah. So maybe it'll be the following week.
Yeah.
But in the next few weeks, maybe we won't. But we will definitely do an episode when we come back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all the fun things that we did in Tennessee.
All the things we did. And so, thank you for watching and listening again. And I want to tell everybody to be safe out there on Halloween. It is Halloween. So please be careful. There is a man out there called, I believe it's Myers. Last name Myers, first name Michael. So please be careful out there. Also,
he gets somebody every year, guys.
Every
year he gets somebody.
Ghost,
Jason too.
Ghost is rolling his eyes. And then also check your candy. Just be safe out there. Kids, be safe out there and go to homes that you are familiar with.
Go to the churches, the trunk or treats, the malls, or
homes that you're familiar with in your neighborhood, but don't go.
Don't come trick or treating by my house. Maybe by Shannon's house,
but not by
my house.
Not by the motel.
Not by the state mandated rehab facility that's on the corner.
Yeah, thank you. So,
no.
But be safe out there, have fun out there, and go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Woo. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.